One of the things that God is asking us to do is trust God, and we have to stay in faith. Welcome to the not Got Questions, the Counting Wisdom podcast. I was watching Got Questions, which I recommend their ministry, gotquestions.org. But anyway, one of the things we have to do is trust God. And, I think when we start to believe, that our life can change, and, I think we can't get so caught up on material things, material life, where we get so captured by thoughts of, I gotta, get a better job. I gotta, figure out how I can make this relationship work. And really, I think it's like anything else, is we have to come to Jesus, come to the feet of Jesus and surrender our life to Christ, and we surrender every aspect of our life to Jesus. And I think we come to a point where we say, God, I can't really figure this out, and I am making different efforts to try to get past this problem, but I can't figure out how to get past this problem. And I think in life we have different situations where we have problems, whether it be something with our kids, or something with trying to get married, or trying to have a relationship, or maybe you're trying to figure out your career, what you can do with your life. Maybe you're trying to figure out your purpose, how I can be an effective, impactful person in this world. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to change your life from a sinful lifestyle to a more godly lifestyle. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to be more patient, or be nicer, or you're just trying to figure out a problem. And, I think one thing God is saying to us, especially in the book of Proverbs, he says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. And I think it sometimes takes time. Some answers may come overnight, but I think sometimes the answer is a slow moving train or a slow moving car, where you have 50 miles to go and your car is only going 10 miles per hour, and the destination is ahead. You have faith that there's something ahead waiting for you, but you feel like the car of life is just moving so slow. And so I've been in situations like that before, and in the situation I'm currently in, I feel like it's similarly, we have different tests that come along. We have different tests that come along that try to just challenge us, and we have to, stay in faith in the situation, realize, God can and will bring about a solution. But we're also coming to Jesus and saying, Jesus, I can't figure this problem out. I can't figure out how to win in this situation. And it's almost like we're giving up, but what we're doing is giving up our struggle with the problem, and we're saying, you know what, God, please act on my behalf, please help me. And that's how I saw a change in my marriage, in my relationship of trying to get married. That's how I saw a change in, trying to find a place to live. trying to break out of my parents' house, trying to, break bad habits, is, I prayed. I've been praying, and I've been saying, Jesus, please help me, and one thing that I know about Jesus is that he can help you. He will help you. I figured that, if Jesus is a person that died on the cross for my sins, he's able to help in this situation. And I was kind of giving up. I had been taught about God, but I never really gave God my full attention. But then when I started to, encounter problems, I feel like God was knocking on the door of my heart to say, are you gonna come to me, or are you gonna still try to figure out your own way? Because I did have a choice. I had a choice of, I'm not gonna give God a chance. I'm gonna, try to get through this problem and, figure it out on my own. And, I realized that wasn't working, and so I started to just listen to the Bible more, I turn it on, and, I started to see, oh wait, God doesn't really approve of this behavior that I'm doing, and God doesn't really approve of this way that I'm living. And it did take some years. I had to go through different help programs. I did seek out help. I went to counseling. I went to different programs to help someone get through certain problems. And so it did take some effort to actually do. And I had people in my life telling me, you shouldn't necessarily do that one behavior. And I was like, I wasn't really listening to that, and I wasn't really trying to hear them, but yet they were so right. And so I think in our problems, in your problem that you're facing, I think asking ourselves, how can I come to Jesus? And then also we have a level of patience. I was in a waiting room at the doctor's office. I had to do a random drug test for work. I wasn't in trouble or anything like that, but just the type of work that I do, they just, driving a bus, it's a minibus, but they randomly drug test you, ever so often. And so the wait was like 4-5 hours, of just waiting. And it was 4.5 hours or so, maybe 5, but it was a long time, and so I was tempted to get upset, and I think at the end of it I kind of did get upset. But at the same time, there's some lessons to be learned from that, because sometimes we go through things and we either don't want to necessarily go through it, or we're just, not having the right attitude when we go through it. And, we're introduced into different situations where, I have to wait. And even knowing about patience and knowing what patience is, knowing that God wants me to have patience and, wait without getting an attitude, it was still difficult. It's not like, now I have this knowledge of God and now I have this knowledge of the Bible, and so every situation is just so easy, and it's like, now that I'm in God's will, I gave my life over to Jesus. I've done the basics of what it means to follow Christ. And, I've done good works or something like that. And so, I know this thing about God and Christ and Jesus and accepting Him. But yet, it was just a simple situation. But the situation is actually, an example of even bigger problems where, sometimes you have to just wait, and you have to do things that are, kind of hard. And so, I think that, in our problems, we have to really just, one, say, Jesus, I tried, these different solutions on my own, and they haven't really worked out the way that I wanted to. Jesus, please help me. And I think we keep coming to Jesus, every time we get into that mode of, thinking about, different situations and stuff. We have to be like, Jesus, I need you. I need your help. I can't do this on my own. Maybe I can't think about, what the right solution is. And so, excuse me, you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Is that in your problem that you're facing, look at it from God's perspective and, put your trust in the Lord. And so, anyway, hopefully this message was helpful. Trust God in your problem, and have faith as well, saying more positive things, and continuing to have hope, and continuing to just be faithful to the Lord in your problem. So thanks so much for checking out this video, this podcast, and I will talk to you on the next podcast. See ya.